Sims from Sims Paper Crafter, and I'm on the Tonic Studios blog today sharing a card I've made using the On Your Day twister dies and the floral background stamps. Now this is the card I've made using both those wonderful products, and the twister part, as you can see, will stand up, and the die does all the hard work for you. There's no measuring, no planning, even down to the decorative panels that you can see here, the joining panel on the back, and also the layered sentiment panel. So you get all those elements within the dies that you actually need. Now I've used the stamp to create my actual background and to create my floral embellishments, as I thought it was nice to be able to incorporate our stamps within our die cutting, not just for a sentiment or a one-off image. I've layered the actual panels up, but when all this is flat, it still sits there flat. Even with the overhang, this sits perfectly in an A5 envelope, so it's perfect for posting. So I've tried to keep it as flat as possible. Now if you didn't want to use 3D foam, you could just actually stick them to the base yourself, and the same with all these layers. These layers could be stuck flat, which would even bring down the depth even more. So I'm going to put everything away, gather all the bits we need, and let's get creating this card today. Right, I've got my stamp onto my stamping platform, and as I said before, I'm using the Flora Background from the Garden Party release, and I'm going to use the Marble Statue hybrid ink. This is one of the smaller diamond ones, and it's because I wanted to try no lines colouring. Now I'm very new to this and I'm feeling a little bit brave. But what it means is, because I've got a smaller ink pad, I am going to need to ink my stamp more than once or twice just to make sure I've covered the whole area. Now, as I said previously, I've used the Flora Background, and I've used it with the twister die. So let's bring the dies in to have a quicker look. Now with the twister die, you get the backing, which actually creates the twister shape. You would get two different types of decorative panels, and then they come as well with decorative panels, or should I say these are the outside edges. You then get a matten layer for the twister part, or the bit that stands up, and you get a sentiment, which is On Your Day. You also get two joining pieces to join the little bits across to make the card a little bit more rigid. These are plain ones, and this one has got a beautiful embossed detail which also says On Your Day, and it's got a great shape. So I've gone ahead and I've already cut mine out. Let's turn it around, as you can see. So I've actually cut out from the main outside die. I'm going to put this to one side so I can explain a little bit more. So I've got my main die there, and to twist it, all you're going to do is just literally flip one of the sides. It doesn't matter which side you flip, it will stand up. Now with the background stamp, I'm going to see here, I'm not sure if the camera's picking it up, but I have stamped it all up because it's a very fine ink. What I started to do was I actually started to colour it, and then I realised I only actually needed the panels. So on my so I've already gone ahead and stamped another sheet. Let's put all these bits back in so I can explain a bit more what I did. And I then realised, as you can see, I started to colour, and then I thought, whoa, that's a bit of a waste of time. Why not cut out the panels you need? So I took the decorative edging one that has got the lovely small dots, and I've actually cut out the two panels I wanted to use, and then I coloured those panels rather than colouring the whole of my stamp. So there's one that fits in there, and there's one that fits in there. So it saves me having to colour absolutely everything before I die cut it. It's just a quick way round. So they're the two main panels for the bottom. And then what I did was I have cut out, where I could, some different elements. So that's one of the flowers there with a leaf. That's another flower there. And I've cut these out from this main bit so I can practice the colours I want to use and the look I'm trying to go for when I coloured my flowers. So what we're going to do with this panel is we're going to identify different flowers we want to cut out to colour, and they're going to become our embellishments. Right, they're the ones I've decided that I want to colour, and I'm going to use my Nuvo markers, and I'm going to use 3 of the colours, which, let's put them in order, are 432, 434 and 435. This is a beautiful lilac grey, and then I've got wild thistle and violet breeze. And then as an added extra, I'm just going to use my blending tool to speed up, just to add some little highlights. So I'm going to colour these in, and I will fast forward. Right, now that looks a bit splodgy, but when it dries, they blend a lot better together. So you need to trust me on that one, because as you can see, there's quite a lot of ink. I've laid down quite a lot of ink, so I need to let it dry. I'm going to do exactly the same with these two. So I'm going to colour these, and then I'll come back once I've coloured everything. So you've got an idea of what I've done with this flower regarding my colours. Right, I've busy got colouring away, and then I realised I hadn't shown you the colours I used on the leaves, because I want to have some of the leaves to do with the flowers. So I've kept one flower back, and the colours I'm going to use for the leaves are going to be the 417, which I believe is Hunter's Green off the top of my head, 416 Vine Leaf, 412 Pea Pod, and then for some shading or some darker parts, I'm going to use one of the greys from the Stormy Greys. Right, as you can see, they're my flower embellishments. And what I've also done, I'll try and lift this one up, is I've added some white little dots, and then I've used the glaze to add to the flower. Now, I haven't put it on as drops. I've tried to randomly place it everywhere. So that's what I'm going to do here. I've added some of the white dots already, and I'm using the Nuvo Crystal Glaze. So they're my 3 flowers done, and they're going to be the embellishments that form part of the card. So I'm going to tidy all my pens away, and then I'll bring the card back and we'll go about making the actual card itself. Right, I've tidied up all my bits, and I've now gathered all the components to make the card. As I said previously, I've cut out the base shape with the whoops, I said base die, and that is slightly smaller than an A5 piece of card. So you could use an A5 envelope to actually send this card. Let's put that back. And I said previously, I'd cut the panels out using the decorative image. Now we need to make this pop. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this edge here, and I'm going to flip it over. Now you could do it the opposite way round. So for example, I could take that edge and flip it over, and both would work. It depends on how you want your project to look. So I want mine to go that way around. So what's now going to happen is I'm going to put that decorative panel onto there, that decorative panel onto there. Now the card is still flimsy, as you can see, and quite precarious. So in the die set, as I said previously, you get these 2 dies, and they are so you can do joining pieces over the different gaps to give a little bit more rigidity. So I've cut one from white, from the larger plate, and then from the leftovers I've cut the smaller one, and this is just a leftover from the design, and I've just coloured it in. So when I join these 2 together, that is then going to sit like that, and that will make the card rigid on the back. Now on the front, I thought what I would do is use one of the Celebrate Success sentiments and stamp that out and use that to actually join these 2 pieces together. Just move the dies out the way. Right, I'm going to move these. Now I'm going to put this back flat so I can explain what I'm going to do here. Now this is the bit that stands up in front of you. So I've cut out some white card and I'm going to layer them up so I can actually put my flower embellishments where I'd like them to go. So one is going to go there, and then I'm going to put another panel on top, and another one is going to go there. Move that way. And then I've got my little bud, which is just going to sit on the top, and then I've got my sentiment, which comes part of the twister pack. So I've cut it from white and I've cut it from black, and I'm going to layer the 2 on the top there. So it's on your day, and then when we do the joining panel with the stamping, it will then say congratulations. So I'm going to get all the bits and pieces joined together. I'm going to get my stamping done, and I'll fast forward, but I will put comments within the fast forward so you can understand what I'm actually doing.